These are 8 things that unfortunately can have a devastating impact on your retirement. I want to see you enjoy each and every day of your retirement. So whether you're already retired, you're 8 days or 8 years away from retirement, these are important things to know. And let's jump in. The very first one is not test driving your budget, your retirement budget, before you actually pull the trigger and tell your boss you're planning on retiring. So why is this devastating? You know, a lot of people think, well, I'm making this amount of money now and spending that. Let's say you're currently spending $7,000 a month, but hey, when I retire, I'd be comfortable going down to $5,000 a month. I'm just making up numbers. But it's one thing to say you'd be comfortable doing it. It's another thing to actually be comfortable doing it. And I know it's almost impossible to completely test drive your retirement, but do as good of a job as you can. So if you're planning on, going from eating out 3 days a week to eating out once a week, you can try that now. If you currently have an unlimited budget for the cardboard boxes that show up on your front porch and you say, you know what, we could budget that down to $200 a month. Try that now. If you're thinking about downsizing your house, maybe from 3,000 feet to 1,500 square feet, something my wife and I did, try it out ahead of time. In our case, it felt liberating to not have as big of a house. But for other people, it can feel sacrificial, and better to know it feels sacrificial before you tell your boss you're going to retire. Okay, the second one is not spending money early in retirement. It's very, very common for people to be cautious and a little reserved when they first retire, conservative, and say, we don't want to spend too much money too soon. We want to save money for later. And yes, you definitely want to save money for later. We're going to talk about that. But you also need to take advantage of what I call the youth of your senior years. So you want to be ready to hit the ground running and psychologically be prepared to switch from being a saver to a spender. Okay, the next one has, and I've got 2 of them on this list related to our spouses, our significant others. And the fatal mistake here is not talking with our spouse about what retirement looks like. How much time are we going to spend together? What are our big dreams? What are the things we really want to do? What does life look like in retirement? And have some deep, meaningful conversations. Make sure you're on the same page, and on the places you're not on the same page, think about how can we get on the same page? What's the middle ground? And a big topic is how much time are you going to spend together each week, right? There's 168 hours in a week. How many of those are you going to be spending together? How many of those are you going to be spending apart? What does it look like when you're spending time together? So the sooner you have that conversation, the better. The next one is not focusing on your health before you retire, in retirement, and late in retirement. Anything we can do to invest in our health is going to pay off dividends in a big way. So eating right, working out, nothing I'm sharing here is financial advice. It's certainly not medical advice. Talk to your physician, but do what you can to stay as healthy as you can. In fact, unfortunately, Fidelity says even with Medicare, once we turn 65 years old, the average American is looking at $165,000 in cost from the time we're 65 until we pass away. That's a lot of money. Do what we can to reduce that by staying healthy. Also do what we can to reduce that by making smart decisions when it comes to our Medicare. And that's why I'm proud to partner with Chapter on this video. Medicare's open enrollment period runs this year from October 15th to December 7th. And people who don't shop for their best Medicare plan, you run the risk of not having the doctors or treatment covered depending on what's going on. And you can also be overpaying for your current plan. You don't want that to happen to you. I want you to work with an expert that has access access to all the plans nationwide and is bringing that expertise to bear for you. And that's why I'm proud to partner with this video with Chapter. If you give them a call, you can give them a pro tip. They're very busy this time of year. Give them a call. It'll be easier to get a hold of them. But when you talk to them, they'll tell you whether you're on the right plan or not. And if you're not, they can help you switch to the plan that will both protect your health and your wallet. Chapter says that they save callers on average $1,100 a year. That's almost $100 a month. That's real money. Again, they get busy this time of year. Give them a call at this phone number up here, 323-805-8579. And do it now, because as we get into open enrollment season, they get very, very busy. And if you prefer to just reach out to them online, you can reach them at this link below. Thank you, Chapter, for sponsoring this video. Okay, number 5 on our list is forgetting to take care of your mental health in retirement. It is a big transition, retiring, and it can really play havoc if you're not careful on your mental health, right? We had a routine, we had a built-in network of people that we were around, so we had a social network, we had a routine, we had a purpose, we were part of a team. All of these things get taken away. Now, a lot more gets added, and I think retiring, from my experience, having been a financial advisor for over 20 years, about 80% of my clients looked back and said, I love being retired, and in fact, I wish I had done it sooner. But we've got to plan mentally, and planning for our mental health is an important piece of all this. A big part of that is finding what's our next purpose in life. And a book to help you with finding your next purpose in life, if that's something that you're looking at, is a book called From Strength to Strength by Arthur Brooks. It'll help you think about how your purpose transitions in different phases in life. And then the next one is, the next mistake that I see can be fatal for people is not having a financial plan. If you don't have a financial plan, one of two things is likely going to happen. You're either going to be sacrificing unnecessarily. You could spend more money than what you are spending, or you're unknowingly going to put your financial security in the future at risk. And neither one of these are good. And without a plan, those two feel like they're right next to each other. The reality is, for most of us, they're far apart. But you want to know what that is. I urge you to work with a financial advisor to come up with a financial plan. If you'd rather do it yourself, there's great software available to help you. Don't do it in Excel. Don't do it in Google Sheets. It just takes too much time to do it ourselves. Too easy to make a mistake. The software that I like is Bolden. It used to be called New Retirement, and it's very powerful. You can do scenario, what-if analysis. It's very easy to use, and it's very affordable. There's no reason to do it yourself. You can sign up for Bolden at this link here. I am an affiliate. And the last one, number 8, is waiting too long to retire. And so many of us have worked hard to put ourselves in a situation where we can retire. But then when it comes time to grab that brass ring, to take the prize that we've worked so hard to put ourselves in a position to, then unfortunately we delay. And I don't want to see that happen to you. And that's why I made this video up here. Why waiting to 65 to retire might be a big mistake. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.